If you're a Colts fan, this week could not have come soon enough.
Hello, bye week.
Yeah, thank you, God.
It's a safe bet if you're in Las Vegas. The Colts are not going to lose this week.
This is true. We we're gonna hit on week 11 in the NFL season.
I told you it wasn't the worst joke I'd tell.
We're gonna start with the Thursday night game. After last week's Thursday night game, you have to think, please let this one be better. And we get the Jets of the Broncos.
We get the Jets and the Jesus.
The Jets actually coming off a terrible loss to the Patriots last week, and the Broncos have a win on under their belt. Another win with Tim Tebow. Uh, the only bad part is in the win, Marino is out for the season. That's a huge loss for Tim Tebow, especially in his option offense. But Tebow continues to win. He's 3-1 as a starter. Can you believe that?
I would have thought he had 3 wins, but maybe not so soon. I would have thought they were spaced out a little bit, but I would not want to be Tim Tebow knowing that the Jets just got spanked by the Patriots the last week. It's one of those you beat the Patriots, you're going to get the horns the next time. You're going to see Rex Ryan in the horns this time.
As for the Jets, Mark Sanchez continues to not impress anybody. He's had a terrible stretch of games. Is he really the answer with the Jets? I mean,
In
Brunell's the backup.
in oh, does he still play? I didn't
Yeah,
know he still played.
apparently he's.
Wow. Caleb Haney played this week, so I guess he's got a shot next week.
There you
But
go.
but no, I don't think Sanchez is. I don't think he's going to be the answer there. He's going to have to go somewhere else because he's a USC Pete Carroll product. He's going to be good somewhere, just not in a Rex Ryan offense.
Kind of like Matt Leinart, which we'll hit later.
Exactly. Matt Leinart sighting this week. Mark your calendars.
LT suffered an MCL injury, but apparently is okay to go. And the NFL is also investigating comments made by Rex Ryan after the game. Apparently, a fan yelled out, "Hey, Rex, Belichick is better than you," and Rex said some pretty,
Rex said, "Oh yeah, your mom."
yeah, good one.
Um,
That's
I'm, we're good journalists. We're some of the cleaner journalists sometimes. Um, we didn't mention Rex Ryan's likes and dislikes this week,
nope.
so we'll be nice and say that he said, "I'm your number one fan. Thank you for coming to the game."
I'm gonna take the Jets in the game.
Definitely Jets here.
Okay, moving on to Sunday. Jacksonville's facing Cleveland. Oh, anything else
Uh,
do we need to really
if
hit
this
into?
happens to be a 1 o'clock game, I guess I could sleep in Sunday. I'll just come back and take a nap after church.
Hillis is actually out again for the fifth straight week. Cleveland has only plays two more games with teams with sub 500 records. On the other side, Gabbard has had three games where he's thrown for under 120 yards, and Cleveland, believe it or not, is number one rated passing defense
Wow,
in the league.
Gabbert
So
Gabbert's not bad. He's no Dalton, but
I'm
he's got results.
I'm going to take Cleveland in the game.
Definitely, I got Cleveland.
An another really interesting game, Carolina at Detroit. The 1 o'clock game on Fox. Detroit is coming off of a terrible beatdown by Chicago. Stafford has actually fractured his right throwing hand index finger. He says it's not bad. He says he should play. With them already being one dimensional because Javid Best is out, how does this hurt their offense?
Uh, if you're a Detroit fan, no, this is not a repeat show. This is season two. Yes, we're halfway through the season, and once again, your quarterback is on the shelf. So good luck from here on out. This is terrible for them. I mean, who is their backup? Is it Kidna?
Yes.
Okay, he's okay at running it, but he's no Stafford.
Yep.
And even Calvin Johnson's going to get tired of trying to figure out where Kidna's throwing.
Believe it or not, Detroit is actually still favored by 7. But you have to also
Well,
think
okay,
and this has actually changed with you. He Jeremy all season has said Atlanta is the dirtiest team in the NFL.
they took that
This
over from New
week,
Orleans.
this week he
It's
said
it's Detroit.
Detroit has taken over.
It's
So Cam
Detroit.
Newton, get ready. I'm going to take Detroit in the game.
I got Carolina in this one. It's two teams that are going opposite directions. I mean, Carolina can only go up from here really, and Detroit's done nothing but sink in the last few weeks. So I give it to Carolina.
Green Bay is facing Tampa Bay at home this week. Probably another win in my opinion. Rodgers continues to impress not only us, but pretty much everybody in the NFL. All of his people around the NFL are going, Wow, he did that. He only threw for 250 yards last night on the Monday night game, but he had four touchdowns.
To be fair, he left the game, early. They let Matt Flynn play, and Aaron Rodgers went and saved a few kids from a burning building because he had nothing better to do after putting up so many points.
Maybe perfection continues. The rest of the schedule looks like after Tampa Bay, at Detroit, at the Giants, Oakland at KC, home against Chicago, and home against Detroit. It's a tough sled but it seems like it's not that bad for Green Bay.
Well, Matt was saying that maybe Detroit gets them. I said maybe the Giants get them. I say they're not going all the way. Chicago's going to get them if nobody else.
On the other side, no way Tampa makes it back to 10 wins this season. They've got a tough stretch coming down. They still have to go to Atlanta. They still have a couple more games that are just look ridiculous on the schedule. Does Tampa have an identity anymore? I mean, at the beginning of the season, they really
They
had that
are
start,
they are
but
like the superhero who loses the powers. Like the kid on Rookie of the Year when he pops his elbow back. They have to kind of reinvent themselves and figure out what are we going to do.
I'm taking Green Bay in the game.
Yeah,
Sunday, also 1 o'clock on the CBS game. Miami is at home against Buffalo. It's a huge AFC East matchup for Buffalo, just simply because they can actually get some ground made up between them and the Jets and the Patriots. The last two games, the offense has been lacking for Buffalo. They've only had 11 and 7 points. I mean, it's really not been a good stretch for
no,
Buffalo.
they're kind of pulling a Detroit for some reason, but they're more talented.
Miami is out of the suck for luck campaign, guys.
Not yet.
But I read an article today. They're still looking to pick up a quarterback. Obviously, they're probably not going to get luck, but you know, the guy from Oklahoma State is still out there. The guy from Baylor is still out there. They've got a really good
For the
crop of quarterbacks.
for the hometown fans, is Aaron Murray going to go out this year?
I doubt it. I think he'll come back again. Of course, he's still a sophomore, so um, I'm taking Buffalo in the game.
I actually have Miami because Miami's been showing me something the past few weeks, and I'm tired of getting burned by them as well.
Oakland's facing off against Minnesota. Minnesota coming off that rough beating on Monday night. Antoine Winfield has had surgery on his broken clavicle and will miss the rest of the season, which makes it even better for Carson Palmer.
Yeah, actually it does. It helps another USC quarterback.
Michael Bush is actually was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and Carson Palmer after last week, he actually only threw one pick, had a couple touchdowns, threw for 299 yards. He had a decent game. So he could actually, he's starting to gel a little bit with the offense. Let's see where this takes Oakland.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I got Oakland in this one.
My thoughts exactly. Dallas at Washington, another big division matchup. Dallas is looking to actually pad their schedule. They need to take their schedule out as much of the division as possible. Rex Grossman is back as starter for Washington, which is terrible if you're a Washington fan. They did re-sign Dante Stallworth this or today, so that's a good thing. But that's really the only thing because after looking at what Dallas did last week, putting up 44 points,
This one could be as
good
ugly.
luck.
And if Rex Grossman is your best option at starter, maybe you should have hung on to that McNabb guy because at least he could have did a lot more than 3 wins.
Felix Jones is back, but they're actually going to stick with the kid, and Jones is going to be the backup. And the Cowboys only have two major games left, and that's two against the Giants. I mean, that's really it.
I mean, I got the Cowboys at least a wild card here.
I'm taking the Cowboys also. The four buys for this week, we've got the Colts. Thank God for the Colts. They finally get a bye.
You're welcome. Goodell does like you.
Saints, Steelers, and Houston. Houston needing it right now because they're having to groom their backup quarterback to pretty much take over for the rest of the
And and
season.
and who is that backup?
Matt Leinart out of
Wow,
where?
another guy I wasn't sure if he still
USC.
plays. But I like Liner. He's a good. He's kind of like Tebow. He's a different. He's a southpaw. He gives them a different look. They may still be hard to beat.
I think it hurts them. I really
Oh,
think it hurts
oh,
them
it's a
terribly.
downgrade for sure. But it's a different look. You've been used to Schaub, who is a very Matt Ryan-like quarterback,
Mhm.
very precise with his passes. Drew Brees-like almost to a point, not an extended point. But and then now you have Leinart, who doesn't have really good results, but he has a good mind for the game. So we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Cincinnati's facing off against Baltimore. Baltimore's coming off of another rough loss, guys. If you're a Baltimore fan, we're sorry. That was just terrible last week. Bengals still have a fight ahead of them, and with a win, they can help their cause. I mean, they're looking at possibly going at either a wild card spot or an AFC North title. They've already got a couple wins under their belt against division rivals.
Definitely.
They could end up, if they go down the stretch and beat their division, they could actually end up winning their division. I'm going to take Cincinnati in the game.
I have Cincinnati as well. If Baltimore doesn't get their act together, they may be watching the playoffs.
Another sleeper of a game that you really could I could really care less about because it's going to be another beatdown. San Francisco's facing off against Arizona. It's done.
I mean, no joke. This could be like 100 million to two, and the two is only because he fell asleep while he was passing. I mean, you only have one line on the game here.
Yeah, and Skelton's 2-0 as a starter, and that's pretty much their only
He's
point
about to be
for
2-1.
Arizona. But San Francisco still is yet to allow a rushing touchdown. We're week 11 of the season. They're still yet to allow a rushing
I
touchdown.
would love to see San Francisco and Green Bay go at it.
Oh, wouldn't we? They could actually end up being a number two seed, but we'll hit that later. Seattle at St. Louis, 3-6 versus 2-7. Really, they've St. Louis. The only good thing that they've got going for them, they've got a good stretch against NFC West opponents, which has been terrible this year. Also, um, Seattle's coming off of a big win, but that was at home. They're
Yeah,
away again, so I'm gonna take St. Louis in the game. I can't go against them right now.
I I picked Seattle just because they beat two quality opponents, and um, St. Louis has only beat one, even though that was the Saints.
Tennessee's facing off against Atlanta and 4:15 on CBS game. Tennessee becomes the front runner now to even possibly go after the AFC South title, considering it's a tough stretch for Houston now with Matt Leinart at the helm. Um,
Definitely.
the Falcons still have to win a lot of games, in my opinion, to even make it to the playoffs. Um, Dallas has the same record in the NFC, so you're looking at Chicago's got a better record than you, and they hold a game ahead of you because
Yeah,
they have that win.
the tiebreakers.
Yeah, Dallas, if Dallas comes up and has a better record, Falcon season's over.
Yeah, it's done. I mean, I'm not gonna do like most hosts and ring a bell or anything, but Atlanta's got to pick up a couple wins pretty quick, or they're out.
Falcons is this is definite must win for the Falcons. I'm going to take them at home. It's hard to beat the Falcons at home, even though the Saints did it
Four
last
losses
week.
in 4 years. Yeah, you can't bet against them.
San Diego's facing off against the previously mentioned Bears. Bears are continuing to win under Cutler, which is surprising. Um, they're looking at one of the two wild cards easy because they're not gonna catch Green Bay. San Diego has had a terrible stretch considering they went 4-1 after their first 5 games. They've gone 0-4 since. I'm taking Chicago at home.
I mean, definitely, it's got to be the Bears.
The Sunday night game, um, another division matchup. Philadelphia facing off against the Giants. Giants are at home. They're a game up now on Dallas, which is shocking. I mean, it really is, considering where Dallas started at the season. Mike Vick has a few broken ribs, which doesn't help their cause at all because he actually had their broken ribs at like the first or the second play of the game
Yeah,
of last week. So I'm going to take the Giants at home because they're 3-1 at home. They're hard to beat, and Eli is continuing to having a good season, even though they lost last week. But that was against a really good San Francisco team.
definitely. It's hard to bet against a Manning right now. The only one that's playing. Sorry, Cooper. But yeah, it's the Giants at home.
Monday Night Football, Kansas City at New England. New England had an incredible game last week, but their defense is dead last in passing D. Can you imagine that? Dead last. Matt Castle could miss the remainder of the season. He's at least out for this week. Um, Tyler Palko is their backup with Ricky Stanzi out of Iowa as their third string, which could be interesting seeing them go at it for the next couple of weeks.
I'm glad you have these notes. Are these guys from the replacements or something?
Palko will be in his second season. Ricky Stanzi is also in his second season. So, I mean, they really didn't draft well. If you're,
They didn't draft offensively. We'll put it that way.
but Castle's got that significant injury to his throwing hand. It's a tough stretch for Kansas City. I'm taking New England in the game.
Yeah, it's. I'm not gonna let them burn me this time. We're gonna go Patriots for sure.
But that's it for week 11, guys. Bryce is obviously out. Jeremy's stepped in for him. It's hard to imagine.
We want you to feel better, buddy.
Yeah, get to feeling better, Bryce. We hope you feel better. But that's it for week 11. I'm Billy. This is Jeremy. This is Spin Sports Lab.
It's gonna be a long road for one of us in a minute.